Hi everyone and welcome to this week's video where I rock pool in literally the coolest place I have ever rock pooled by far. This is Worm's Head in Rhosilli Beach in Wales, and this whole section of rocky shore will be underwater in a few hours time. And
I'm here with two really awesome people who I knew or met about 10 years ago because these are both my old lecturers, which is just really awesome to come rock pooling again. This is Ed and this is Gethin, and I learn rock pooling stuff, identification stuff from these guys, doing tests, learning all the Latin names. These are probably two of the only people that can put me to shame with IDing all of the awesome stuff. Okay, there are a few more people, but these two in particular. So I'm super excited to be here today doing some rock pooling and finding some awesome stuff. We put the pressure on Ed. He said we found an octopus and we haven't yet, so you can blame him if we don't.
now this video is full of three people being just super enthusiastic and loving everything to do with the rocky shore, which I am so unbelievably here for. But before we get into the awesome marine life that we found this time, I want to give some specifics. So I went to university in the south of Wales and I went to Swansea Uni. And I went in this awesome building here called the Wallace Building, and literally it is right next to the beach, which means that I got to spend my undergraduate while I was learning my marine biology degree exploring all of these just incredible bits of coastline. And part of the reason going to Swansea Uni in particular, out of all the universities I could have gone to, the reason this was so amazing for me is that I fell head over heels in love with rock pooling here. Now as a kid I'd gone exploring sandy beaches and gone fishing and thought that I'd love exploring and learning about fishing and that kind of research, but when I came here and just saw the incredible beaches they had to offer and what incredible life was on them, that was it, I was hooked. And it is Ed and Gethin and the lecturers at Swansea Uni that taught me all of this amazing knowledge about sea creatures. I found out that there was more than one species of crab. I found out that there are differences in the shores that you go to and how it all affects things. I fell in love with the study of ecology here, the study of why is that weird creature there is basically what ecology is. And so to come back 10 years later and go rock pooling with them again it was just so special and so incredible, and I so appreciate it. And we were just having the best time. It's, you know, three people whose jobs are to go out and do this, and we are not taking that for granted for a single second. And also, I'd never rock pooled at Rhosilli before. I mean, look at this place. It is like the absolute gold mine of rock pooling, and because being an undergraduate, it was on a bus very far away. I just hadn't got around to it, and now they actually take all the students there as part of the course. And so when Ed and Gethin found out I hadn't been, they're like, oh, we need to rectify this, we need to go, because look, it was absolute heaven. And we explored as much of that area as we could before the tide came back in, because it was just so full of life. As usual, pretty much straight away, I jumped in a rock pool. I mean, safely, and just down above my knees. Sure, well, who needs wellies? Because we spotted some absolutely beautiful snake stocks and anemones, and they are not very common up in Scotland, or I haven't found them. So Ed was giving me some pointers and directions so that we can capture the true beauty of these things. I mean, look at them. Also saw these awesome brightly coloured and let's say very elegant anemones called elegant anemones, which are really awesome and like stick out like proper flowers. It's so cool.
This is what happens when I go rock pooling and I talk about just getting in the sea.
So as well as these giant rock pools that I managed to successfully climb out of, thanks Ed for the camera work there, there was just so many different parts of this shore. There was also this big like flat plain where there was just these little rock pools, but these rocks covered in so many mussels, teeny weeny tiny mussels. They can't get very big. There must be quite a strong current there maybe keeping them smaller, but just the most mussels I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It was just breathtaking to see and to comprehend that there was just so much life living everywhere. I could have truly stopped and looked under every rock and looked at everything. We were also trying to go for like seeing if there was just like lots of stuff around and that we could try and spot maybe an octopus like walking around. It just felt like that kind of shore where an octopus would be strolling along and be like, ah, human, hello. But we started to make our way down to the deeper parts of the shore as well, because I mean, even that was different. You had to like clamber up and down these giant rocks that were bigger than me. I mean, I know I'm not very tall, but still, that was stunning. And that had a whole new environment of creatures. What you can see me and Ed beelining for there are these incredible barnacles. So these barnacles are called Balanus perforatus, and they look like a volcano. And Ed was actually my supervisor for my master's project. So we worked a lot together then, and we totally bonded over just our like love of barnacles. They are just incredible and awesome. Ed was so excited to find these barnacles and show me, which was just the best because they're not ones you see as often, and you know me, I am an absolute sucker for a barnacle. It was the best. I just love sharing the barnacle enthusiasm. Yes! As well as the awesome barnacles, the stuff at the lower shore gets nice and covered and crusty. It's home to so much, including these colonial hydroids, which really look like quills, which are really awesome, but you can just see that the rocks are just covered in stuff. And there's these gorgeous seaweeds that are just blooming in the lower shore with all of this just gorgeous loveliness to see and explore, and I just wish I could live in the sea. And I wouldn't even have to go to the gym. I could just hang out with this crab who seemed to be bench pressing this rock. Like, look at him. How strong is that crab? Incredible. And then I then tested this crab who seemed to not want to annihilate my finger, which was just very bizarre from a devil crab. I was so surprised. But it was time to head back up the shore to make sure that we were being safe with the tide. So inevitably, you know, you get this bit of footage filmed with a YouTuber, is that you've got to head back to actually get the camera once you've left it. But it's totally worth it to get shots like this. I cannot just emphasize how good it was for the soul to just be in this area. Like, look, I will forever remember this as just such an incredible memory. This is a landscape that is so unbelievably beautiful and just shows how great the rocky shore is and how much it needs to be protected, because it is just like entering a whole nother world that I say every time you can do with just a pair of wellies. I mean, are we not so unbelievably lucky, especially here in the UK, just to have this right on our doorstep to go and explore and be excited about? And I cannot stop raving about how amazing this trip was. Seriously. But even though we were heading back, the shore hadn't given up on us yet. There was still more incredible finds. And of course, an incredible sea slug. A nudibranch, my absolute favourite. I still can't believe that under this whole shore, under a tiny rock, is this teeny weeny, beautifully coloured sea slug. And I'm pretty sure this is Phaseolina auriculata. Again, we were testing the Latin names today. I feel like I'm back in undergraduate. I'm being tested. Oh my goodness. But look how adorably cute this is with its cute little eyes. Just going along, probably looking to hungrily devour. Oh, look, there's some hydroids. Yes, hungrily devour some hydroids. Is probably eating those. God, I love sea slugs. And I always say when I go rock pooling that every time something surprises me, and this time it was seeing these like weird lines of little dots through the water in the rock pools, which was like incredible to see. Well, we didn't know what it was, and then we realised afterwards there was actually all of the mussels that I've been talking about, they were spawning. So actually, this is the sperm and the eggs of all of these mussels mixing together to hopefully reproduce, to go off and form lots and lots and lots and lots of more baby mussels. So that was really cool to see, and then to realise what I was filming. And my master's was on biofouling, so the sea life that lives on man-made things. So it's fitting that at the end we notice this giant anchor covered in barnacles and this engine. I love to see this awesome man-made stuff just get covered in sea life. And that was the end of what was just an absolutely fantastic trip, and massive thank you to Ed and Gethin for coming along. I'll see you all in the next video, and if you want to give me some extra support, then head over to my Patreon where you can unlock exclusive content and join the Marine Mumbles Patreon family. Happy rock pooling, everyone!